area of the shaded region problems. So you guys had to do 6 through 12 here. So number 6, we can split it into a rectangle and a triangle. Let's make the line a little thicker here. But we're going to split it into a rectangle and a triangle. So we know that the distance across here is 10. So we can do 10 minus 6, and that's going to give us 4. All right, we know the distance here is 10, so this whole thing across has to be 10. So 10 minus 6 is going to give us 4. And then the height of our triangle, right, is right here. We know the whole length here is 16. Right? And since we know this is 10 and this is 10, right, we know the blue one is 10, and the whole thing's 16. We have to do 16 minus 10 is going to give us 6. So we know that this piece here is going to be 6. And then we're just finding the area of this one. So area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So our base is going to be 4 of our triangle, and our height is going to be 6 inches. All right, 1/2 times 4 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. So 12 inches squared. Right, now we got to do the rectangle. So that's the triangle. Now we got to do the rectangle, and then we'll add them together. So the area formula for a rectangle is length times width. So area is going to be length times width. So that's 10 by 10. Right, a rectangle is 10 by 10, which is 100 inches squared. 10 inches by 10 inches gives us 100 inches squared. And then total area, we just add them together. So we're just going to add 100 plus 12. So that's going to get us a total area of 112 inches squared. 112 inches squared. Number 6, that was number 6. Number 7, we can split into 2 rectangles. Our first rectangle down here is going to be 13 by 13, so that's area is length times width. So 13 by 13 is 169 inches squared. All right, we got to find this purple length here. We know the whole thing across is 13. All that is 13, and that's 5. So we need to do 13 minus 5 is going to give us 7. So our other rectangle is 7 by 7. It's a square as well. I'm sorry, 8. 13 minus 5 is 8. So length times width. So we're going to have 8 by 7, which is 56 inches squared. Okay, and then the area of the whole thing, we simply add them together. So 56 plus 169. So that's 175 plus 50 is going to be 225 inches squared. That's going to be the area of the figure for number 7. Okay. Number 8 here wants us to find the area of the shaded region. So those first 2 problems were review problems. We're just composite area, taking the area of 2 different figures, so a triangle and a rectangle, and then 2 rectangles, and finding the total area. So the new stuff here was the area of the shaded region. So we're looking for this shaded in area around the small rectangle. Okay. To do that, we need to find the area of the big rectangle and the small rectangle. So the big rectangle, right, is 7 by 19. So that's length times width. Okay, I think that's 133, right? 19 by 7, right? 7 times 20 is going to be 140. So times 19 is only going to be 133 inches squared. Right. So that's all of this. Okay, but we don't want all that. We need to only find the shaded part. So what we need to do is we need to subtract what's on the inside. All right, so we need to find the area of Let's do a green. So the green rectangle on the inside is 4 by 15. So length times width, 4 times 15 is 60 inches squared. Right, so let me just double check here on the 133. I don't want to do a video with the wrong answer. Okay, yeah, 133. All right, so 60 is this area here. So we need to subtract that area from the large area. So the red is all of this. Right, we subtract away the green, and we're just going to be left with our shaded area on the outside. So we need to do 133 minus 60, which is going to be 73. I like to use the calculator on the videos because we don't want to make any mistakes. So our area of the shaded region is going to be 73 inches squared. We took the total area, which was 133, subtracted the non-shaded part, which was 60, and we got 73 around the outside there. That's number 8. Let's look at number 9. Okay, we have 4 circles inside a big rectangle, so let's do the rectangle first. So the area formula for a rectangle is length times width, which is going to be 10 by 10, which is going to be 100 inches squared. Okay. So that's all this, all of it, but we don't want all that. We only want the shaded part, so we're going to have to subtract away the area of those circles. So the area for a circle is pi r squared. The radius of each circle is 2. So we can put that in, pi times 2 squared, which is going to give us 4 pi for the area of each circle. So the area of each circle is 4 pi inches squared. Okay, there are 4 circles, so if we multiply the area of one circle by 4, that's going to be the area of all 4. So 4 pi times 4 is going to be 16 pi. Right, you can leave it in terms of pi, or you can find a decimal. So let's just find a decimal for simplicity's sake here. So 16 pi, that's going to be 50.3, I think. 16 times pi is 50.3, yep. Approximately 50.3 inches squared. So that represents the area of the unshaded part. That represents the area of those 4 circles. So if we want the area of the shaded, we're going to have to take the area of the whole thing, which is 100. And we're going to have to subtract the area of the unshaded part, the area of the circles, which is 50.3. And we end up with 49.7. And we're left with 49.7 inches squared as our area of the shaded region. Area of the whole thing is 100. Subtract away the area of the 4 circles. Each circle is 4 pi inches squared. So together, all 4 add up to 50.3 inches squared, and then you subtract that from the big rectangle to get the shaded part. Okay, number 10. So we have a big rectangle that's 18 by 8. Okay, if you did it a little differently, it's hard to tell if this is 18 or if the whole thing is 18. So I guess there's different ways to do this one depending on how you interpret the diagram. Okay, but length times width, so area equals 18 times 8, which should be 164, 154. Let's just use the calculator. 144. Wow, I'm way off. $160, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. All right, 144 inches squared. So that's the area of the whole rectangle. But we have 4 triangles, so we got to do area equals 1/2 base times height for a triangle. These triangles have bases of 4 and heights of 4. So 1/2, 4 times 4, that's going to be 8. inches squared. There are 4 of them. So we're going to multiply by 4 because there's 4 of these triangles. Each triangle has an area of 8 inches squared. So together, the 4 triangles added together have 32 inches squared. Right, and so we can now subtract that from the whole thing to get the shaded region. So 144 minus 32 is going to give us 112 inches squared. All right, we got 2 more here. So again, these are very similar. So you have a rectangle. It's 32 by 6, so length times width. (32 by 16). I'm not sure on that one, so let's put it in the calculator. 512, so 512 feet squared. Okay, now we got 2 triangles. The area formula for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. The base of these triangles is 6, the height is 4, or vice versa. So 1/2 times 6 times 4 is going to give us 12. So the area of each of these triangles is 12 inches or feet squared. There are 2 triangles, so I'll multiply by 2. That gives you 24 inches squared. Okay, so the area of the whole thing is 512. Subtract the unshaded part, so subtract 24, and we get 488. Right, it's going to be 488 feet squared. Okay, that's your shaded part. Okay, last one. Area of the whole thing, again, 13 by 8. Length times width. So 13 by 8. That's 104, if I'm correct. Okay, area of the triangle is 1/2 base times height, so 1/2 4 times 3. So that's going to be 6. Okay, 104 and 6. So there are 4 of these triangles, so we multiply by 4. That's going to give you 24 inches, or sorry, centimeters squared. Okay, and then we can do 104 minus 24. So 104 minus 24. It's going to give us 80 centimeters squared as our final answer. Okay, and you only had to go up to 12, so that was your assignment.